if you're going off to college for the first time, and you may have dreamed about college, and you may have older siblings that have gone to college, and you may have talked to people who go to college, but you haven't experienced college. You still don't know what it's all going to be about and how you will do. Same if you're graduating from college and maybe moving on to either, uh, you know, the workforce or more, more academic work. Again, it's a new phase of your life opening up. But that may be easier to deal with in a concrete form because those are rather expected life transitions. Um, even you know ultimate life transitions such as passing away of a loved one are maybe slightly easier to deal with than when your life seems to be and you understand that there's a transition going on, but it wasn't planned, and it's not a traditional kind of turning point in life. It's just happening. Perhaps a job that you were connected to and had sort of structured an identity around has faded away. Perhaps a new job has come into your life, and you're not quite sure yet what to make of it or how you'll do. Perhaps uh, relationships are changing. Uh, your spouse or loved one is moving into a new phase of their life, or perhaps the relationship is over, or they are you're going your separate ways. Um, Maybe your family relationships are changing, um, where your mother, your father, your siblings are getting older, and they're changing, and then as a result, uh, your relationship to them and your view of them and their role in your life is changing too. Or it could all be happening at the same time, uh, which often happens and is a situation I can well relate to. So I wanted then to get into some of the more spiritual aspects of life transitions and what we can do to deal with them and what they are. Basically, it's about change, and change can bring about anxiety. So I found this really nice article by Madison Taylor uh, from her dailyom.com website, which is a website I highly recommend. She puts out emailings daily called the Daily OM with sometimes some really great words of wisdom and things to remember. So I came across this article by her, which is called Anxiety About Change. So she says change will occur in almost every aspect of our lives, and we can learn to embrace it while releasing the past with grace. When we find ourselves going through any kind of change in our lives, our natural response may be to tense up on the physical, mental, or emotional level. We may not even notice that we have braced ourselves against a shift until we recognize the anxiety, mood swings, or general worried feeling towards the unknown that usually results. There are positive ways to move through change without pushing it away, however, or attempting to deny that it is happening. Since change will occur in almost every aspect of our lives, we can learn to make our response to it an affirmative one of anticipation, welcoming the new while releasing the past with grace. One thing we can do is change our perspective by changing the labels we use to identify our feelings. We can reinterpret feelings of anxiety as the anxious butterflies that come with eager expectation. With this shift, we begin to look for the good that is on its way to us. Though we may only be able to imagine the possibilities, when we acknowledge that good is there for us to find, we focus our energy on joyful anticipation and bring it into our experience while allowing the feelings to carry us forward. Now, that is a tricky one. To look for the good that's on its way, especially in a transition that perhaps might not be one you were expecting or one you even wanted. Um, you know, such as the loss of a job or a relationship coming to an end or uh, something that's been a part of your life for quite a while going away, that kind of thing. It's those are the times when it's really hard to kind of see or uh, think about the good that's on its way to us. But I think if we take it inside and we look at the other times in our lives when we went through maybe similar feelings, similar changes, and we remember the good that came from them, that can be a start. If you can think about, well, that happened and that was rough, but look what it led to. Look, look what good came from all of that. And again, it can be very hard to see that. But if you can just have an expectation of it, without particularly knowing what it will be or when it will, emerge, but just to focus on that rather than things that might feel negative to you. Uh, that can help. Now, back to this article, she says we can also choose to do a ceremony to allow our emotions to process. Every culture has created ceremonies to help people make the transition from one phase of life to the next. We can always create a ceremony too, perhaps by burning written thoughts to watch the smoke carry them away, thereby releasing them, or we can welcome new endeavors by planting flowers or trees. Some ceremonial activities, such as a farewell send off or housewarming party, we may do automatically. Society has built in ceremonies like graduation and weddings, which may satisfy that need. Sometimes the shift from denial to acceptance is all that we need to ease our anxiety, allowing us to bring our memories with us as we move through nervousness to joyful excitement about the good to come. So that's one way you can deal with the anxiety of impending change or going through changes. Uh, and as I mentioned, it may be very hard to do. But there are some steps you might want to think about. I certainly am. To help you deal with the anxiety that arises. And the key is really to make yourself as comfortable as possible while and until the feeling passes. So anxiety will pass, and while you're waiting for it to, you can remind yourself that this feeling will go away and concentrate on making yourself comfortable physically and emotionally. And perhaps one of the ways you could do that is by focusing on the good that is going to come out of this rather difficult situation that you might be in, or this changing situation that you might be in. So one of the ways you can do that is to, stretch your muscles, find a comfortable position, increase emotional comfort uh, with some anxiety treatment methods like calming self-talk. So, talk to yourself. Use phrases like, I will get through this. I am safe right now. I'm feeling anxious now, but I will soon be calm. I can feel my heart rate gradually slowing down. And this feeling will pass. Acknowledge and accept the anxiety. If you fight it, it makes it stronger. So accept it, accept what you're feeling, and take it in. Go into that feeling and take the energy from it. And as you do, you'll find things change. You'll find that it dissipates in a way. But you don't go into it with the idea of making it go away. You go into it with the idea of embracing it and going within and taking the energy that it has to offer to you. The energy, the same energy that you used to create it, you can also take away from it. You can let your anxiety level get to the highest imaginable level. Keep it there, or try to, and you may find that it just fades away. Distraction can also work for anxiety symptoms. So find something for your mind to focus on intently, work or a book or something. And then, of course, relaxation techniques, which we have talked about very often on this show, including meditations, including relaxing the body, reaching a calmness inside, deep breathing. So I can read you one, as we've been doing on this show, doing guided meditations for various and sundry issues that might be compelling us. So we can do that, but let's come back to that for the moment, and let's go into another article here, which is related to going through change and having anxiety. It's another Madison Taylor article. It's called Contracting Before Expanding. It's a natural part of our being that our lives sometimes contract before expanding. So that may be part of the change that you are going through, where you start to feel like your world is getting kind of small. Sometimes our lives contract before they expand. We may be working hard on ourselves spiritually, doing good in the world, following our dreams, and wondering why we are still facing constrictions of all kinds: financial, emotional, physical. Perhaps we even feel as if we've lost our spirituality and are stuck in a dark room with no windows. We may be confused and discouraged by what appears to be a lack of progress. But sometimes this is the way things work. Like a caterpillar that confines itself to a tiny cocoon before it grows wings, flies, we are experiencing the darkness before the dawn. So when things feel tight, it's easy to panic or want to act in some way to ease those feelings of constriction, of course. We might also spin our wheels mentally